Okay guys, backyard bush mechanic here, and dog. Got to change the oil. Obviously, we have a problem with access, so we're going to fix that first thing. And through the magic of mobile phone chicanery, common sense, and a bit of drudgery, we've pushed the car back and got a bit more access. We could swing a dog in there, but we can't in the name of interests of animal cruelty and all that sort of whatnot. Let's get underway. Okay, step one. Get the radio. Turn it up. Because of course, while working on the vehicle, who doesn't like a bit of music? And then we find a suitable jack position and hopefully jack the car up without wrecking all that plastic undercarriage and trimmery. And up she goes. And there she is, up in the air. Well, we're not going to get underneath there with that helplessly reliable Chinese-made jack, which has a higher mortality rate than coronavirus. We've got to take measures to, well, in the interest of safety anyway. So as for staying alive under here, we have two equally reliable Chinese jacks which should do the trick, and then we're going to get the trimming off. Here we are, safely under the car, and we get a 13mm socket, or a spanner if you're poor and want to sit there turning your hand all day, or you can just use one of these. And then, there you go. So you got 6 of these little guys to get off. So all the 6 bolts are out, or screws. There you just push this guy forward, falls on the ground. And don't forget to leave all your bits and pieces in a nice little pile over here. So of course you remember to put the damn things back on. And there you have it, a nice little view of the sump. A little bit dark. There's your sump bolt. For those of you more familiar working with a Hillman Hunter, I'm having trouble locating the oil filter. But there's a trick. In the interest of ergonomics, saving lives and all sorts of other things, Holden has decided to put the oil filter under there. That's in there. Well, he's inside, to be exact. You're going to need one of these, an 8-litre oil drain pan. If you do use one of these, a 5-litre oil drain pan, having more than 5 litres of oil in the engine, you're going to have to think ahead. So we're not going to use one of them. I'm going to use that. A 15mm socket or spanner will then do the trick. Get underneath there and there you go. Now that was correct. We should be able to undo it with the hand. There we go. Hopefully you've achieved what I've achieved. A nice steady stream straight into the bucket. And not a drop of oil on the concrete. Now when I bought this thing, they assured me that I would be able to be a fully qualified mechanic, able to service the Titanic. That was $25 gone west and I was hoodwinked. So I had to buy one of these guys. 24mm spanner, and that will go on the end of that guy there. But I'm going to be damned for room, so I've got to do a bit of surgery here and make a bit of access. Once of course you take the top off the air filter, you will be able to get enough swinging room to crack this guy, which was previously cracked because I had to use 2 hands and I couldn't do that holding a phone. So you'll get the picture. If not, buy a manual. I just thought it'd be easy to watch this YouTube video. So while gravity is doing its job and the science of fluidonics is going on downstairs and relinquishing my engine of oil, we'll take this guy out and hopefully the filter comes out with it, which it did, and that's him. And hopefully, I did order these things online and I didn't take much care, and hopefully that guy in there will suit what goes in here. And I think that looks pretty damn good, pretty damn close. If that doesn't fit, I'll make it. And you've got to get the O-ring off, of course. It comes in the packet with the filter. And I use this little poker to get that little guy off, but I'm sure you'll find something suitably to get underneath that and get it off. It's not rocket science, but again, if you can't, get the manual or see a mechanic. And there it is, one fully serviced oil filter unit, new element, O-ring. Make sure you put the O-ring in the little seat here, not down here on the thread. It'll fit nicely there, but it won't do the job. It's got to go in here, otherwise you're asking for problems. Okay, then put him back in his little hole. A little bit of shaky, push shovery, but it'll go in there eventually. Screw it in. Screw. Grab your spanner, get it in there, torque it nice and tight. There is a special torque rating they get you to use, but I say just get it in there nice and tight. Right, so that's on there nice and tight now, and if you do have to use a spanner, make sure you use the ring end. That's why a socket with an extension would be good, because then you're not hitting that little post over there every time you swing the spanner. If you use a shifter, you're asking for every problem you get, because if the backyard bush mechanic wouldn't use it, you probably shouldn't either. So ring spanner at worst, or a socket even better. Okay, there's a little wash you can get for the inside of the sump bolt here. Sits in a nice little groove. You should replace one of those. I didn't, because I like to take risks, and risks are good because they kind of make you feel alive. So we're just going to put that in as is. I reckon we're going to be Gucci, but if I'm back here next week, you know what's happened. And then we do the process in reverse and tighten up the sump plug. Get your socket, torque it up. Don't hang off the bloody thing, you don't want to damage the thread. And stick your head under in a few days. If it's dripping, tighten it up a bit more. Now, all going well and your car in ship-shape condition, you should be able to pull out 7 litres of oil, because that's how much we put in last time, which looks pretty damn close. So that's a good sign that someone isn't stealing our oil and our car isn't losing any. Now you're going to need one of these, a funnel. As you can see in the backyard bush mechanic, no expense is spared here, only the best equipment will do. Yep, at least it wasn't Diet Coke, that's something. But you whack this guy in there and pour your life away. Look at that, you couldn't get a better fitting funnel if you tried. And that's what it's all about at backyard bush mechanics. Making do with what you got, as long as it isn't a shifter. Now things are going so well with my Intrepid device that I can actually feel myself pouring oil in with one hand. And make sure you put your little undercarriage back on, because if you don't and you take it to a mechanic, they'll say, aha, you've been watching the backyard bush mechanic, haven't you? And I don't need the personal liability suits anymore. Now that I'm satisfied with the oil levels, it's time to remove our high-tech workshop equipment. Put her back so we don't lose her again. And put it all back. Don't forget to put the engine cover back on. So it's time to say a little prayer and start the engine, and if you hear something that doesn't sound like an engine, it's time to turn the damn thing off, and you haven't listened to the backyard bush mechanic and you've done something wrong. So, and there it is, purring away like a little kitten. There's a picture of a little kitten. That's what it should be purring like. And no warning lights. Up, there is, bonnet open. Make sure you shut that bonnet, that's a very important process. Shut it down nice and secure. Happy motoring. And that's the backyard bush mechanic.